Hello and welcome to another track guide. This track guide will be on Daytona with the LMP2. So let's just jump straight into the hot lap. So that is the hot lap. Now let's dive into more detail of the lap. Now for turn 1, you want to go all the way out to this outside wall to open up the corner. Now there's two different braking zones. You can either, braking points, you can either use this light or the start of this white line. I personally use the start of this white line, but it's personal preference. The esports line is no more. You cannot go out all the way to these cones and use all this. You have to stay within the white lines or you will get an off track, and if you go out too wide, you will get a slowdown. So I'm going to go only that far out. And the apex is going to be right about there. You want to apex right after these tire barriers. This will give you the best. This is just optimal. And then track out all the way to the yellow curb. Don't touch it, as that will very much unsettle the car and most likely send you spinning into this wall and getting you tons of damage. Now for the first horseshoe, you want to make sure you go all the way to the left. Be careful of cars exiting the pit lane, as it is blind. You want to start braking around with this much left of the grass. There's not really a good braking marker, so just estimate around there. And getting a late apex here to maximize straight line speed, just like you will on every corner of Daytona. I'm using all the track on the outside here. This does not give you an off track. Now for the kink, I'm going to go all the way over to the right and stay to the left. Set up the entry to this next corner. For this corner, you want to brake right around the middle of this tarmac. Turning in around now. Shifting down to first. And you want to get on the curb around here, and you want to stay on that curb for the duration of the curb. And then once the curb ends, you want to start tracking out to the outside and use all of this curb to maximize speed. Now going into the turn 7 onto the oval, you want to line up your right side tires right next to the grass. They're not on the grass, as you want to maximize your track usage without touching the grass, because the grass will make your tires dirty and give you less grip. Shifting down to second, you want to get a late apex here, as this is one of the most important exits on the entire track, as you have half the oval after this turn. And then you tracking out, you don't want to go out that all the way out to that curb, as you will lose time compared to just keeping it short and having the shorter run to the corner instead of going faster. And then you want to track out all the way to this wall here to maximize your exit speed. And then there's only one or two really important things about the oval. The main one is don't touch the double yellow line. You will lose a ton of top speed. And well, the other one we'll get to on the other part of the oval. Now, in for the bus stop, you want to get as close to this wall as possible on entry. Use as much track as possible and open up the bus stop as much as possible. You want to start braking right in the middle of the one and this light, shifting down to fourth, getting all the way over this curb, but you don't want to touch this sausage curb, as that will cause you to either spin or majorly understeer. Yeah. And then for the right-hander, shift down to third to help give you rotation to move the car over to the right. Now you want to use all the curb again. Just don't touch the sausage curb. And you want to get on the power right after you hit that curb to maximize straight line speed and your exit speed. Now for this one, you don't really want to use too much of it. The max you want to use is tires on this outside. You don't want to go over it, because that'll cause your car to understeer straight onto these sausage curbs, which is very deadly. Now for this final turn, you really want to make it as straight as possible, but these sausage curbs, you want to make sure you do not touch them. If you touch them, you will spin, either straight into the wall or over here. Neither one is good. So you definitely don't want to touch those sausage curbs, but you want to get as close to them as possible to maximize your exit. And yeah, that's the bus stop. Now again, don't touch the double yellow line. And then, coming out of the oval turn, you want to stay tight to this inside line. You do not want to go out over to the right side to just shorten the lap. And then, you cannot cut this anymore, as it'll give you an off track. But yeah, that's the lap. Hopefully this track guide helps you. And I'll see you in the next one.